Hey guys, this is Andy, and I got a lot of requests to make a tutorial on the clouds from my Harry Potter intro remake, and I thought I might as well do a tutorial. So, here's what we will be making, and this is the actual intro that I made. So, we won't be focusing on anything other than the clouds. So, listen to this. Yeah, so you get the basic idea. Sorry if the footage was a bit jumpy or the sound wasn't that very good. That's because it's quite a big file and it's my computer's having a hard time pulling it off the hard drive. Okay, so what you want to do is, first thing I want to mention is all the assets I will be using will be in the description of this video. So I'd also strongly advise you to not use these in anything you do, since these are copyrighted. Not just that, we don't want everybody's looking the same. So what I did was I pulled some of these off Google, and some of these I did take myself. So you can just type into Google fluffy clouds or storm clouds or overcast weather, and you can get yourself some nice clouds. Okay, so you want to go into After Effects and create a new composition and set it to the width and height you want. I'm doing HD, 24 frames per second, and I'm going to make it 10 seconds long. I'm going to name this main comp. Okay, so first thing we need to do is we need to create a camera because we are working in 3D. So you right click down here, or you can go to Layer, New, and Camera. And what you want to do here is basically set this to 35 millimeters. Set the film size to 102.05. Set the zoom to 622.2. Set the angle to 54.43. And set the focal length to 99.21 or 21. Untake lock to zoom. Change the units to pixels, and everything should be good to go. Okay, and then just click OK here. So basically, you've got your camera. First thing you want to do is, let me change this resolution down. You want to bring in your assets. So open up the folder and bring in all of the assets to After Effects. Okay, and the first one you want to pull into After Effects is this one here, background, or BG. So this will be your background cloud. It does not matter where you put it or put any of these clouds in the layers panel here, since we're working in 3D. We're all working in Z-space, so it won't matter what's on top of what. So what you want to do is you want to make this a 3D layer. If you cannot see this, press F4. So if your comp is like this, just press F4, and you want to click this square, so it'll make a 3D object, and then you press P on your keyboard for position, and then what you want to do is move this back about 20,000, and then use scale, press S on your keyboard for scale, or you can pull on these little tabs at the corner and hold shift just to make it the size of the comp, and it won't affect the resolution because it's so far back in Z-space. Okay, so the next thing you'll need to do is you'll need to start bringing in your clouds. So don't use any of these lightning ones yet, they're for lightning. what we're going to be making later. So you can bring in fluffy clouds, dramatic clouds, any order you want. It's just preference really. And just so we can see it, drag it down. Make it 3D. Press P on the keyboard to bring up position, and do not move it as far back as the background layer, but move it maybe about 8,000. Oh, one thing I forgot to mention is go to the camera, press for effects. Where's it? No, drop down here and go to transform, and where it says point of interest, make sure this here is at 20,000, because that is how far back your layer is here, your very background layer. Okay, so with the fluffy clouds here, you want to scale them up. And also, I forgot to mention, when you're bringing stuff into After Effects, when you're taking stuff off Google, it doesn't matter what colour they are because we will be colour correcting later. So, okay, you position this layer wherever you want, if it be top, bottom, top right, top left, wherever. I'm just going to position it down here because I like the shape of this cloud. And what you're going to do is you can mess around with it if you press R, and you can change the rotation of the z-axis. But I'm not going to bother with that. And then you can click the mask tool, the pen tool, or you can hit G on the keyboard. And what you want to do is you want to mask around the parts that you want to keep. So just link it up. Press F on the keyboard to bring up the mask feather and feather it by about 200. Any preference. And you can get rid of that mask now. Okay, nothing's happening yet in the comp because we have not keyframed the camera yet, and we'll do that after we've set all of the distances of our clouds. What I think I might do now is color correct or make the clouds black and white, just so we can see if the feathering's right. I'll see if it looks good. So you want to type into Effects and Presets, Tint, and under Color Correction there's Tint, and you can bring it onto one of your clouds and it automatically does it, and then you can click on it and Control C or edit and copy, and then you can click on your other layer and Control V. So that makes it black and white. And to get rid of the mask path, you can just click this button here and get rid of it. So you can really just position this where you want. We'll carry on doing this for as many clouds as you want, really. So bring another cloud in. I'm going to make it black and white now, so just Control V right in there since you've already got the tint in your clipboard. Make it 3D layer, then position. See, the last position on this one was 8,000, so we can go a bit further than that, we can go a bit less than that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make this really close to the camera. So I'm going to do 2,000. And then we can scale it up, and I'm actually going to put this at the bottom left. See this big fluffy cloud bit here, and I'm going to get the mask tool. I hit G on the keyboard and then mask around all the areas that you want to keep. You don't have to be exact because we're feathering. Then hit F on the keyboard to bring up mask feather and hit 200, or your preferred masking, your preferred feathering distance. Okay, let's do this a few more times. So, oh, here's an example. Is this not? Trying to find a cloud with a watermark on it. I know I have one somewhere. Well, it doesn't really matter. But if you do have a cloud with a watermark on it at the bottom left or the bottom right, it doesn't matter because you're masking out or you're hiding it with the edges of the comp. So you want to position this wherever. Oh, yeah, make it 3D layer. Hit P on the keyboard for position. Let's make this about that's 500. Make this about 5,000 in depth, and make this big. You see, we're in. You can tell it's 3D now because it's actually gone behind this first cloud. but it's not gone behind this second cloud. So you know it's worked. Okay, so let's bring this up. I'm actually going to change the rotation of it. Gonna do this, bring it up there a bit, and hit G on the keyboard for your masking tool. Yep, hit F for feather, and 200. You see, sometimes this will happen, where you get part of the line. You can feather it less, or you can actually change the mask right here. See, that's a lot easier just to change your mask path. And here as well. And oops, if that happens, just click on your mask again on that layer. See, this can get a bit messy, but it doesn't really matter. Okay, there's one thing I forgot to do. I forgot to paste in the tint. There we go. Get rid of the mask. So this is looking good so far. Excuse me. Now, we can do this again, another time. So this is quite a blue one. So we just paste that in. See, it just changes it to black and white. So you do not need to worry about colour at all. Make it 3D, hit P on the keyboard, and the last one was 5,000, wasn't it? Yes, so maybe we can do this quite far back since these clouds look quite distant in the image anyway. So the very furthest one we've got at the moment is 8,000. So maybe I should go a bit closer than that, or maybe a bit further. I'll go 10,000 and make it a bit bigger. That did not work, that was 1,000. Yep, see, there we go. And I'm going to zoom out, press R for rotation, and just tweak it the way you want. I'm actually going to put this in the top left here. Hit G. This is all quite repetitive, this tutorial, but it's good to learn. Hit F for feathering. Feather by 200. Let's get rid of that. Let's have a look. This is looking good so far. We need something on the top, and maybe that could be it. Obviously I'm rushing through this just to get the tutorial done, but you can take as much time as you want. Let's bring this one in. This one's already black and white, I think. Let's paste in. Yeah, I already pasted in the tint and it didn't change, so there's no point in having a tint in there. Make it 3D. Hit P for position. And maybe we'll do this one quite close. So we'll do this 1,000. Oops. Remember not to select your mask tool quite yet. Make this quite big. Move it up. This cloud's quite grey. Maybe I should put this behind. Let's stick it at 6,000 instead. We can just hit R for rotation, spin it around, and just position it there. Hit G, and since there's no real outline of the cloud, I'm just going to make a rough circle. It's F. Mask it. Feather by 200. See, this feather didn't really work too well. So let's bring in this here. I spent a lot more time on the original. I actually spent 3 days figuring out how to do this, and then 3 days in total just messing around with settings and making sure it looked really good. But to be honest, I still think I could have made it a bit better. Could have made some sort of mist and made the environment look a bit better. So now, since we've got most of the clouds in, for tutorial purposes I'm not going to do all of them, we can make some lightning. So what you want to do is, let me just get rid of all these masks here, because that's annoying. I like to have a clean work area. It's kind of my OCD really. And Okay, what we want to do is we need to create a new composition and call this lightning 1 and make it your comp size. Doesn't really matter about frame rate, but change it from 10 seconds to 1 second and hit OK. And then what we want to do is we want to bring in lightning, and this one looks good, so just bring in lightning 1. You can make this one black and white as well just by hitting Ctrl V in the effects and controls. And what we're going to do is now is we're going to keyframe some opacity, but first we need, it doesn't matter about 3D because we'll be doing that in the other comp. So just hit G and just mask around this nice silhouette. I actually searched sun shining through clouds on this to get this image, but I could have took some pictures outside of my house because it was really nice the other week. And you want to feather it again, hit F. Okay, that's looking good. And then you want to hit T for opacity, even though that's a really weird keybind. Okay, so what we want to do is you need to hit the stopwatch, and that creates a keyframe at frame 1. And then you want to go ahead 4 frames, and how you do that is you either drag 4 frames, or you can do page up and page down. Well, actually page down moves it along, page up moves it back, which doesn't really make sense at all. So you want to move it 4 frames ahead, and then you want to change the opacity to 50. Then you want to move 3 frames ahead, and then change the opacity to 20%. And then you want to move another 6 frames and change the opacity to 90. And then you just go to the end of the comp and drag this down to 0. So if we preview this, it's this nice sort of lightning effect. And you can actually see a bar here where it's the edge of the image, but it doesn't matter because I'm going to put it on the left. But that doesn't matter anyway because we can rotate it. Go back into the main comp and go to project, and so where it says lightning 1, you can drag this comp in anywhere really. Make it a 3D layer and hit P for position, and I say we're going to put it quite far back. I think we're going to put it 7,000 and then make it quite big, and let's just play this through. Okay, move it to your preferred location, or you can even move it further back in Z space. So at the moment it's past 10. See, if you're not happy with the mask, you can go back into the comp here and you can select your mask path and move this up a bit. I'm not happy with this at the moment. Yep, go back into your comp and it should be fixed. Yep, so it's just this nice flash. Preferably put it behind a cloud somewhere. Just experimenting where at the moment. Doesn't matter too much. Let's just leave it there for now. And you can do this as many times as you want. I'm going to do it once more. Instead of hitting create new composition, I'm actually just going to drag onto this button, which is exactly the same thing, except it makes it the size of your image, not the size of your comp, because that doesn't really matter. Let's paste in the tint, hit G for mask. Let's mask around. Ah, see, this is the one. This has a watermark. So see, we're masking around it, so it doesn't matter anyway. Let's just move outwards and hit F for feather and make it 200 or even more. Yeah, 300. That's great. Now we want to do the same thing. You can actually just you can do whatever you want with the opacity really. It's just I've been playing around with some keyframes, and I think this looks the best for lightning. So keyframe 0% and move ahead 4 frames and change this to 50. Then move ahead 3 frames and change this to 20. Move ahead 6 frames, I'll hope that was 6, and change this to 90. And go to the very end and change this to 0. Let's go back to projects, main comp, and drag in lightning, make it 3D, hit P on the keyboard, and let's make it the same depth, so 10,000. You won't be able to see it yet because it hasn't shown, because it's still quite opaque. It's I like this colour a lot better than the other one, actually. I think I overused this one in my comp as well. So I'm going to hit R for rotation, and I'm going to rotate it here. And when it plays through, yep, that looks nice. Okay, so now, since we've got all the clouds and lightning, obviously not to my satisfaction, but for tutorial purposes this will be great. What we're going to do is we need to keyframe the camera. So what you can do is you can press, I think it's C 4 times, or you can go up to this camera tool, yeah it is C, unverified, a unified camera tool, sorry I can't speak today, hold down and go to track Z camera tool, so that's tracking in Z space, and then what you want to do is go to P for position, and keyframe here, so hit keyframe at the start, drag to the end of your comp or how far you want to go, and just drag up. And you can see this in Z space, so the clouds are in 3D. If we pull right back, we can see all the layers. I think that looks pretty cool. That kind of looks like a breakdown that you see in the movies, the behind the scenes. Let's just pan it forwards a little bit, and if we preview this, see you get some lightning going on. Doesn't look too good, but yeah, that looks pretty good. Says the basic concept. Now what we're going to do is we're actually going to color correct it, and there's a few things that I used that you might not have, but there is a free version. You if you have Magic Bullet Lux, you can use it, and I'll show you what I used. So type in Lux if you have it. I'll show you a way around it if you do not have Lux. So what you want to do is you want to right click down here, or go to Layer and New, and make an adjustment layer, and you just drag this above all the clouds and hit enter on it and CC for the color correct, and then you want to drag Lux onto CC and then go into edit, and here in the presets, I'm pretty sure you use a preset, Blockbuster, yeah I think that was the one, it color corrected it to this, and you click finished and it made this really cool sort of color correction. I did modify it a bit though in the actual Lux. I think I took off the vignette and added my own. Yeah, but basically all you want is a contrast correction. So if you just click reset there, and let's get rid of Lux by hitting delete. You can use some software by, I think it's Red Giant. It's typing Colorista. No, it's Magic Bullet. You can get a version called Colorista Free, and that only has some primary colors panel. But if you've got the full version, you can drag that on as well and use this. Actually, since if you might not have Lux, you might as well be using the free version. So drag the free version in, and for the shadows, you want to actually be dragging into the blues, the light blues, and for the mid-tones, drag over towards the greens, make it a bit sort of aqua, and for the highlights, just drag a little bit into the blues as well. And then you see this little bar here. You can drag it to make it a bit darker here. For highlights, you can make them whiter. The midtones I'm going to keep the same. And then you can make the blues bluer by dragging this bar here. Doesn't look too good at the moment, but that's good. And then in effects and presets, type in curves and drag that on there, and just click the middle and click the top, and basically we're just making a nice little S curve just to make the whites whiter and the darks darker. It kind of looks a bit too epic at the moment. So you can just lighten that up in here if you wanted to. Just bring this down. So it doesn't look too good in Colorista free, but if this is all you have for color correction, then it's pretty good. You can also use hue and saturation. What else am I going to do? Okay, I'm going to add a vignette. So what you want to do is press Ctrl and Y to create a new solid, and type in vignette. And make this black. Sorry, that was my Facebook, not yours. And hit OK. And then you want to go to this square here and grab the ellipsis tool and just drag, and then double click on the ellipsis tool just so it fill the comp. And then on the mask where it says add, change this to subtract. Hit F for feather and feather it until you've got a nice sort of border, a nice feathered border. Then hit T for opacity and bring it down. So there you go, there's my tutorial on clouds. Probably wasn't that good of a tutorial, but if you got any questions, just leave a question down in the comments section. If you liked it, make sure to like it and give me some feedback.